Hello everyone and welcome to the Fully Booked Penguin channel. I am Hannah and today we are going to do a literary fiction reading vlog. Now I just so happen to have a lot of literary fiction on this month's TBR, so in order to get through it all, I thought we would enter into our literary fiction era and read it in a reading vlog. So all the books that came together to make this possible were four. Four? Yeah, four altogether. By the way, it is summer in Australia, so there do be cicadas going, or cicadas, and one bug is just like having so much fun. Won't shut up about it, really. You're right. He stops for like half a second and then he's like, oh wait, oh, he stopped. Alright, so first up we have an audiobook, which is Tom Lake by Patchett, which is kind of following a mother who was once an actress and sort of the ins and outs of her early career, her run-ins with several Misters and Misses. I was interested in it because Destiny recommended, and then also it's a Meryl Streep is reading it. She talks fast, by the way. Usually I listen to things at 3 times speed. I barely had it at 2 and I was like, wait, Meryl, slow down. Slow down. I can't understand what you're saying. Then we have Anne of Avonlea, which is the second book in the Anne of Green Gables series, and we are following Anne as she starts teaching at school and sort of her run-ins with the locals of Avonlea, you know, her slight interfering with their lives and stuff. I do enjoy a good Anne of Green Gables novel, so we're gonna go through this one. Anne of Avonlea is written by L.M. Montgomery, so there you go. For your memory fades, so this is a literary fiction time travel one, and it's sort of got 4 stories into one. Just 4 short stories, all on the same cafe, where certain people come in, follow these rules, and they can travel to the past or the future. But yeah, they have to follow all these rules, so it's usually a very sad, crying time. Then finally we have Mates of Billabong, which is the second book in the Billabong series by Mary Grant Bruce, and it follows an Australian during the early 1900s on this station with cattle and sheep and horses, and adventures that are very country-ish, Australian country. I don't know what age she is in this, but I think she was like 12 last time we checked in with them, and she has a brother called Jim and his mates, and then her dad, her mother has passed away, so she's kind of a bit of a tomboy. So that is also a literary fiction historical one. So those are our 4 books that we have to get through today. Not today, over the next few days. We're not going to read all 4 in one day, that's for sure. So you're going to come along while I do a little reading vlog. It should be fun. I am actually looking forward to all of these. I think it's just getting in the literary fiction mind frame, because it's not quite as fast paced or quick reading as, say, a fantasy or something like that. But I still have fun with them, don't get me wrong, so it should be good. What I'm actually going to do is do some colouring in while I listen to the audiobook of Tom Lake and then Anne of Avonlea as well. I'm just in an audiobook mood and I want to do some colouring in. Now the front page is a bit scary, it's a bit scary, but I'm going to do the first colouring in. I'm going to start with that. Have a cosy little time, little afternoon. Okay, crew. I've decided that this week is going to be Literary Fiction Week. As I've already introduced, I am doing literary fiction, and it is currently Monday, and I decided we would do Literary Fiction Week with the twist of doing a random number of pages every day. So I've already done today's a little randomization. I click 5 times. Don't ask me why it's 5. You could be like, why isn't it 3? I don't know. Just 5 is a nice number of clicks. And so I did my 5 clicks and we got 297 pages. And the numbering is between 1 and 300. So we got close to the 300. So today is going to be a bigger day of reading. And we're actually starting off with Before Your Memory Fades by Toshikazu Kawaguchi. I don't know whether I'll do just one part and leave it at that for the day, because these books do give tears. It delivers the sadness. And then maybe, I don't know, maybe some Anne of Avonlea. And as you've seen, I've already done some of the audiobook of Tom Lake. I did that the other day with my colouring book. So I might do some more colouring, who knows. It's hard to tell how many pages that is, though, with Tom Lake, because it's an audiobook. And I have no way of knowing what page we were up to. I mean, I can work it out from the percentage. Mathematics. But for now, Before Your Memory Fades. And yeah, we'll see where we go from there. Ignore the cicadas. They're happy about the sunshine. I have finished the first part of For the Memory Fades, which was titled The Daughter. I cried, of course. In this collection, we're actually not at the usual cafe. We're actually at Nagare's mother's place, like her cafe, which is in Hokkaido. So they're in Hokkaido instead. To run that cafe while his mum is away. And we are following a new group of people. And this first one followed a daughter who was going back to tell off her parents for pretty much giving birth to her, because she's like, I hate life. How dare you die? So I don't know whether it was the being born that she hated, or the fact that they gave birth to her and then died. Again, tears galore. So I'm going to have a break from tears and read some Anne of Avonlea. And for those who don't know, I got these copies when I was visiting Prince Edward Island in 2018. I visited Prince Edward Island with my brother and I bought the set of Anne of Green Gables books. So it's very cute. So we're going to follow 16-year-old Anne as she teaches some students. Well folks, we are here for a 4 o'clock update. We currently have read 253 pages. 136 of them have been from Before Your Memory Fades, and honestly, that's enough of that for today at the very least. Maybe I'll finish it tomorrow. I don't know if I can deal with that many tears. I'm so teared out for the today at least. So the second story was super sad and I cried. I feel like all I describe these as is I cried. And here's the thing, it's just so, it captures like the grief side of life, but it does give it a twist of hope. But it's still sad, man. It still gets you in the feels, especially if you're empathetic like me. And then 117 pages of Anne of Avonlea. It's funny, we've just had her be at school. She had like Jonah Day, which is like just an off day. And some stuff happened and she's like, I am never going to live this down. I have disappointed everyone. And I'm like, yeah, you had a bad day, and mainly because you just weren't in the mood. And you know, teachers have bad days too. So, but I'm really enjoying it. So I'm probably going to do the other 40 something pages with Anne, just because it's a good time and there's not many tears, which is exactly what we want. There may be tears later on. Anne of Green Gables did have tears in it, and Anne of Avonlea may too. I just don't remember it, so I can't be sure. But for now, yes, that's our 4 o'clock update. Yeah, I'm enjoying myself in the literary fiction worlds. It was almost 300 pages today, and we were almost there. So let's continue with our reading. I might audiobook it up with Mary Kate Wiles. She has a podcast audiobook of it, and it is so good. So I might half listen, half read it. Or do a read along. You can do them as well. So anyway, so that's my update. Hello everyone, it's Tuesday and I have clicked my little randomizer and we got 186 pages for today. So what am I going to do for those 186 pages? First up, we're going to finish the next 2 stories of Before Your Memory Fades, which I believe is roughly 100 pages till the end of the book. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to just Anne of Green Gables it up. I don't see the point of adding another book on, so we're just going to finish the 2 we're on, and then we'll tackle the other 2 left. So yeah, that's where we're up to. Let's go. Have some crying time. Prime crying time. So, I've finished Before Your Memory Fades. I mean, I knew what I was signing up for when I started this book. I've been through 2 other books in the series. But it made my heart hurt. Okay, and the very last story lulls you into a false sense of security. It's following one of the employees of the cafe and his childhood friend. And it might be considered spoilers, so skip 10 seconds if you don't want to hear this, but they 100% lull you into a false sense of security, and then they drop you right on your head. I did doubt it. I did doubt the happiness. I was like, this happiness can't be real, right? And I was right. Didn't make it any less sad or heartbreaking. Anyway, I've done it. I read 100 pages so far today. It's like almost 3 or something, and now I can go and read my Anne of Avonlea, which is much cozier, much nicer to read. I do have chest pain from the tears and the exhaustion. 1 literary fiction down. Woo! Woo! It's the saddest, probably. It's going to be the saddest one, so I got the tears out of the way. Hopefully the others don't make me cry. I know one will. Literary fiction makes you cry. Just forewarning, these books are not cozy cafe books. They are deep books about grief. And if that is a traumatic thing for you, I wouldn't suggest these, because they are not cozy time. They are boohoo bobbers time. Anyway, on to Anne, my girl, my redhead. So, 80, what was it, 86 pages or something. We can do it. We can smash it out easy.
After all, Anne had said to Marilla once, I believe the nicest and sweetest days are not those on which anything very splendid or wonderful or exciting happens, but just those that bring simple little pleasures.
Good morning, it is now day 3. It is Wednesday. And I did the roll for today and it got 79 pages, which is really achievable. Would I have preferred the 79 pages for tomorrow, in which I have appointments all day? Probably. Let's hope it's not really high tomorrow. Today's going to be a pretty chillax day though. Obviously the low page count does allow me to write my own book. So I guess that's a plus. Or I can read books that aren't in the literary fiction genre. So 79 pages. I have that much left of Anne of Avonlea, which is actually 49 pages. So that leaves us with 30 pages of another book after I finish reading this. But we're going to read Anne of Avonlea, and then we are going to start our next book, or continue on with Tom Lake. We shall see what mood I'm in, whether I'm in the mood to just whack out Tom Lake, the audiobook, or whether I'm feeling a new book. It's actually not too bad. I think it's like 24 degrees outside, which compared to the 39 or whatever it was yesterday. But I thought we'd go outside and read the rest of Anne with the cicadas cicadaing. We'll see whether anything happens with Miss Lavender, because I adore her. Here's the thing, Miss Lavender is who I hope to be if I should never marry, because she's just a ball of sunshine, and I understand why Anne loves her. I have finished Anne of Avonlea by Lucy Maud Montgomery, and I've got to say, I just love this series. I love the way it's written, the imaginative prose, the characters, and the way that Lucy captures. And I think now that I'm older, there's actually more points that speak to me than when I was reading it as a kid. Because some of these characters, they're older, and sort of Anne is the young eyes coming at it at a, youthful perspective. But at the same time, because Lucy is writing it, she also adds in this narrative of really understandable thoughts and perspectives of the other characters. And I love it so much. There are so many parts in this that if I were a highlighter, I would highlight so many sections in this book. And really it does celebrate the kindred hearts, those with a bit of youthful, just imagination and creative play that I think as adults we're told we cannot do anymore, but really holding on to that bit of youthful joy and admiration of the world. It gives such a bright spark to life. I know that most people go through life and they can be quite contentedly happy in the serious, more mundane side of life, but as a creative mind, that is what gives joy to it, is the admiration of the world and of different characters and people. And that is why I love Lucy's writing, because it encapsulates how I feel about life so much of the time. She's a real kindred spirit, and I love it. So, there's another book down. Now we have 30 pages of another book to read, and I think we're going to actually start Mates at Billabong by Mary Grant Bruce. It pretty much perfectly gets us 2 chapters into Mates at Billabong. Who knows, maybe I'll read a bit more. We'll see. But for the rest of today, we are going to be reading Mates at Billabong, where we are following Nora, as she no doubt makes some friends at Billabong, I assume. I don't know, I haven't started reading it yet, so that would be the thing. We have pictures. So we're going to read chapter 1, which is Nora's home, and chapter 2, which is Together. The grey old dwelling, rambling and wild, with the homestead paddocks on either side, and the deep verandas and porches tall, where the vine climbs high on the trestled wall. And that is by G. Essex Evans. Billabong homestead lay calm and peaceful in the slanting rays of the sun that crept down the western sky. And the journey begins. Alright, I am 2 chapters in. I've completed my word count for the day, but I thought I would update. So, Nori is currently 14 years old, and she has had the terrible news that she is to go to school. Now, it is to be noted that while she is seen as a bit of a tomboy to outside sources because she likes to go out on the station with her dad and the menfolk and, you know, move cattle and sheep, she actually has had an upbringing which encouraged her other more womanly side as well. So she's a nice balance. I think her father and those around her have done an excellent job in balancing the two. So she definitely has that more as seen as delicate side, but also she has fun on this nation, as is to be expected when you have all that land, can ride horses and play with dogs and help out dad on the farm. Like, 100% that's what I would be doing. But it does sound like the school will be okay because they play cricket and do sports as well as all the other more educational side of things. But also they have had news that a cousin is coming to the farm after being sick. And I have a feeling this cousin is going to get up to mischief and cause our little crew some annoyances at the very least. So, anyway, so that's where we're up to in that. And, yeah, I guess that's it for the day. I can go do other things. I'll let you know if I end up reading some more for the day. But our duty is done, and it's only 11:12 in the morning. You wouldn't believe the luck I've just been given. Today is Thursday. And as I said, I had a lot of appointments today, and I am exhausted, and it is already like 4 p.m, and I did my little rolls to see how many pages to read today, and it said 5. So I'm pretty sure I can reach that goal. Easy peasy. Hello everyone, I have a little update. Yesterday I didn't do any reading. I've hit a wall, so I'm not feeling great. I have a little update. I've decided to DNF Tom Lake by Patchett. There's nothing wrong with it, and it has very, like, lazy, hazy summer day about it. Like, that's the vibe it gives, but I'm just not invested in what's happening. It's about a lady who acted at one point, and she's telling her daughters the story. And so it switches between, like, current day, her telling the story, and then this past. And it sort of comments on how the production companies, etc., worked. But I'm just not interested. It's not a bad book. I just can't bring myself to actually care about the characters. Like, I was listening to it and I was like, okay, but I was more just waiting for it to get over with rather than enjoying it. I'm like, okay, gotta get through this hour, gotta get that, rather than being like, okay, I'm really invested in this story. So I decided, no, I've got to DNF it. So that one, unfortunately, is a DNF. So that means we just have Mates at Billabong as our final book in the literary fiction stage. We have like 220 pages left of Billabong. Yeah, we'll see what happens with Billabong and Cecil. The cousin's name is Cecil, and I'm like, this isn't going to end well for our Nora. Not if his name is Cecil. Hello. So I've been reading up on our last literary fiction book. We're about 2/3 of the way through. And so I was so happy because Jim came back. Jim is Nora's brother. And it was said that he was just coming by himself for Christmas break. I mean, obviously he's finished school. But he brought along a little pal. Wally from book 1. I thought Wally wasn't coming. Turns out Wally showed up because of measles in the family. So we do feel sorry about the weasels. Yeah, the weasels in the family, but we are happy to have Wally on board because Wally is just a ray of funny sunshine. And I adore Wally. That being said, I am up to chapter 13. Station's doings. Now Cecil, the cousin, Yeah, I have a bad feeling about Cecil. He's been eyeing Nora's horse Bobs. So Nora's horse is called Bobs, and he's been getting a bit jealous over the horse situation, and he's not a good horseman. And I fear something is going to go down in the last 100 or so pages. Let's have a little squiz. 93 pages. 93 pages. I fear there may be tears. There may be tears in my future. But until then, I'm just having a jolly time with Wally. And I know that Wally and Jim, if anything happens to Bobs or Nora, those lads are going to bash someone up, namely Cecil. So yeah. But I'm trying to finish it today because today is the last day of the month, so I've got to get my reading done. It is very hot though, so I've been a little out of it. But we are going to finish those 93 pages in the next couple of hours. So wish me luck, and hope that I don't cry. I successfully finished Mates at Billabong. They did it to me. They made me cry. And I didn't really even get a good comeuppance for Cecil. Cecil deserves to go to jail. Because Cecil has some crimes against him and none of them are forgivable. Then a different event distracted everyone from it. And I got some of my found family, like my family, you know, everyone's angry on behalf of our little bushmaid, Nora, but alas. But that does bring us to the end of our literary fiction. Again, it is a case of what kind of vibes I'm feeling when I get into my literary fictions. I like these older ones. More modern ones, I don't know, they're a little different. Tom Lake is a more recent one, and I just wasn't as pulled into the story. But I don't know whether I like the bit of more historical than Tom Lake is too. So I don't know what I'm talking about. But I do enjoy some literary fiction. Historical literary fiction, mainly. I hate to repeat myself, so you will find out the ratings in my January Wrapped. So look forward to that. It will be released shortly. I think that's going to be our last book of the month too, because it is currently 11 PM. And I am going to go to bed as soon as I finish watching a show, so I know the lighting isn't the best and whatever, but if you know of any other literary fiction that has similar vibes to this or Anne of Green Gables, etc., let me know. I'm intrigued. So until next time, I will leave you all here. Peace.
T26